Salams, namaste, vanakkam, saubona, and greetings in all of our heritage splendor. Welcome to another edition of Tabloid Talk with me, Mohammed Ismail, a show that is more than just words. A very big thank you to all our viewers on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tabloid Talk. We had an overwhelming response to our first show with some great input. Keep watching as we work together to unpack issues at the very heart of communities. Some news bits and bobs. Probably the biggest news making the headlines this week was COVID-19 risk adjustment to level 1 announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Wednesday. A whole lot more of restrictions have been lifted, and that means that we can have more people over for a braai and also for a swim and go to the beach. Prepare for a new normal, said the President. Larger gatherings are now permitted along with international travel. The sale of alcohol is allowed from Monday to Friday, and the curfew is now from midnight to 4 a.m. However, the novel coronavirus is still very much with us. Do not discard your face masks, maintain social distancing, and still try and limit your visits to crowded places. So what is happening in our communities? Has civic pride been lost? Are there other underlying factors that are turning many of our areas into a dump? Areas like Overport, for one, is strewn with bags of rubbish on just about every corner, yet barely a few blocks away, like in the Morningside area, streets and verges are almost pristine. Where are we going wrong as a community? Who do we blame? And while we tend to point fingers at councillors, they are not responsible for the dumping, though they can facilitate a cleanup. Yet how much of a burden must councillors and community activists and leaders bear? We will unpack this today in Tabloid Talk. I'm talking to Ward 25 Councillor Hassan Haniff and community activist Satish Duphelia. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Tabloid Talk, and with me in the studio this afternoon is Mr. Satish Duphelia, who I always call Satish, and he's a community activist and a community leader. We're going to be talking about some of the issues that's very, very pertinent, and that is dumping in Overport. Every corner, every road you turn, there's a dump. More and more and more people are dumping on street corners. Who's responsible, and why is this happening in our communities? 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks away, go to Morningside, verges, streets are almost pristine. So what is going on? Satish, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I think you've hit on a very sensitive issue. I was chatting just a couple of days ago with somebody, and I said that I had occasion to drive very slowly in the Overport area because I had a bit of soup in a bowl on the car seat. And because I was driving slowly, I was able to look at the pavement and look around. And I was shocked at the amount of dirt that was dumped. The dirt was not just dumped in random spots or abandoned lots. It was also dumped outside people's houses. And I just thought that there's something wrong over here for all this dirt to be dumped. And it's an eyesore. It also can lead to disease because with dirt you get rats, and with rats you can get plague later on. And I think it's time that the city does something about it. But I also think that it's not just the city. It's the people also, because I have driven past people's homes and seen that they've put their dirt out on a day that's not for collection. And then what happens is people who are collecting cardboard, etc., come and go through that dirt and then leave the packets open. I have a very good understanding with the people who collect cardboard in my area. I tell them I'm not putting any cardboard in my bags. I'll give you the cardboard. So if you come on the day before the dirt is being collected, I will have whatever cardboard I have for you kept outside, because I respect them for doing an honest job. They are trying to earn a living and survive. And so we should be able to help them because they are poor. But I want to say that I come from the Sydenham area, and sad to say that we get people from outside coming to dump in Sydenham, but we also have residents in Sydenham who dump. So not many.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, my next question to you was going to be, what really is contributing to the systematic degeneration of a community? You've been in Sydenham for a very long time. I mean, you're sitting on the Sydenham Community Police Forum, you're a community activist, and you see these things. Are we morally degenerating? Has civic pride or civic responsibility been lost? Is that gone through the door?
I think that it starts with every one of us, you know, to make your area clean. So when I say I live in Sherwood, for me, the entire suburb of Sherwood is mine. It belongs to all the people who live in the area, and I would like to see it look good. And so it irks me when I see somebody dumping. And I take the initiative of actually going up to the person who's dumping, and I tell them that I've got a dash cam in my car, I'm recording you. If you don't pick up your dirt, I'm going to report you to Metro Police and make sure that you get fined, and I will give an affidavit to say I saw you, and there's the video also.
Successes on that? Have you had any cases that you reported? Did you?
We've had cases where Metro Police have followed up and have charged the people. We have a good working relationship with Metro Police and our CPF. At every meeting, we get a Metro Police representative coming, and we pass on information to them, and they go out and visit people and tell them that we're either warning you or we're fining you for dumping.
Doesn't it make you a target?
I have had people that have sworn me FNBs because I've told them that they need to pick up their dirt, and they ask me who the F are you and whatnot, and I tell them, well, I'm on the CPF, but more than that, I'm a resident in this area. Take the dirt and dump it in your own house, or put it in a bag and let it get collected on the day that you need to be collected. So,
Satish, civic pride, it's a very important factor. In any community that you live in, you have to be proud. You need to keep your verges clean. You need to ensure that your streets are clean. You need to speak to your neighbors. I feel there's not enough education, either there's not enough education going around it, or people just don't give a damn.
Well, I think the biggest problem is that people think that the four walls that encase their property is all they have to look after. And so when they want to discard something, and they do discard it outside, it's not their problem. We found old lounge suites, broken furniture. One guy actually bought a house in our area and then trimmed all the trees and then took the trees and dumped them in a vacant lot across. And when I put it on the chat group, we all know who did it. I put it on the chat group and I said that somebody has dumped all this there. And he didn't own up, of course. So then I went and visited him together with the policeman from the station. And I said, look, we can match these big branches to the trees in your yard. You know, so do us a favor, pay for the thing to be collected, but you can't just go dump them in a vacant lot.
No, absolutely not.
He of course doesn't talk to me anymore.
Absolutely, he won't. Satish, you spoke about cardboard collectors a little bit earlier, right? It's an informal trade that's going on right now in the Overport, Greater Overport area, some of the outlying areas. Now, there's several factors that come into play here. You know, crime and grime. Let's forget crime. Let's talk about grime. If you just take a drive around that Crescent Street sort of angle or corner, and you find that has turned into a muddy pile of rubbish.
Yes.
Across the road, a muddy pile of rubbish. So these recycling companies are coming into the area to earn an income because they're now recycling. And it also helps the cardboard collectors get money. But with that, it's causing huge dirt to pile up, a huge amount of dirt to pile up.
All right.
What are the solutions with that? And I think we're going to talk a little bit about recycling also, and how can the community get into a recycling program. I mean, you've seen a lot of it. So
number one is I've seen people, old people, collecting cardboard and walking along the pavement with it on their head, taking it to a site where they're going to be dumping, etc. I have the greatest amount of respect for them because they are working. They're using whatever possible resources they can get, collecting old people's cardboard, old cardboard from people's houses, etc., and using it to earn money rather than turn to crime. And so they have my respect for what they do. The fact that they sell it to these cardboard collectors, the trucks, the recycling companies, those are the people who are a problem, because they should not be encouraging the collection of wet cardboard, number one, but they actually ask them to wet the cardboard. And that creates a problem now, because then these guys have to go and look for a place where there's water, wet the cardboard, and that causes all the grime in the area and all the dirt in the area. The city seems to be oblivious to this because it's been happening in many areas. And what they should be doing is convening a meeting of these recycling people and saying to them that, look, you are welcome to come and collect and pay these people for the cardboard that they are collecting. But please do not mess up the area or we're going to fine you. And can we allocate one particular area and perhaps you pay for rental for that area so everybody comes to that one area. There are methods, there are solutions for every problem. But I find that sometimes there's nobody in the city who's willing to take that initiative to actually find these solutions and solve them.
Well, I think that's going to be you.
Well, I'm not a councillor or anything of the sort, but it is something that we have said, and I speak to councillors in my area, and when we've had these guys coming out to collect the cardboards, we've gone and spoken to the truck drivers, and we've said, look, you actually need to sort yourself out. You can't collect wet cardboard because number one is you're asking these people to go and find a place where there's water, or they're going to collect these bins and fill them up with water and then dump the cardboard in there, and it creates a big mess.
But Satish, okay, councillors, I don't know what solutions there's been right now, but we're going to get to the solution point just now. Apart from these guys or the cardboard collectors wetting it, they're using the manholes and they're using those drainage systems where they're now going into it and stocking their cardboard or storing the cardboard in there for days at a time, waiting for the recycling companies to collect it. Am I wrong there? Or are they doing that? Because I've seen that.
No, you are right. They are doing that. I want to say that you know, they're not just the problem. So I live in a suburb that's in the Sydenham area, Sherwood is part of Sydenham, and we've got about 25 informal settlements. And I drive past them regularly. Sometimes I drive into the settlements because I do work with the informal settlements. And I see dirt that's not been collected for weeks. That's lying on there, on the pavement verges. If you go down O'Flaherty Road, you will see that there's dirt bags collected and put on the pavement over there. But they've been there now for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Why is it that DSW, who are in the area and who have vehicles in the area all the time, do not see this? And why do they want to treat the informal settlements as invisible people? There are people who are living in a large number of people living in a concentrated area. They're going to generate refuse, and they are poor, but we need to offer them services. We need to say that even though you're poor, we don't want you to live in filth. We don't want to have this dirt lying outside. We will collect it. I think DSW owes that to the residents in the area.
But there's no programs as such coming from the municipality. They are not addressing these issues that's relevant to health and well-being of a community. You'd rather let a community languish in filth. And that's the message I'm getting.
Well, I think that is true. They have provided them with running water and electricity, but that is because the informal settlements have protested over the years. But I want to tell you that informal settlements I've been living in my area for 21 years now, and some of the settlements have been there before I came in, and some of the people have been living in those settlements for as long as 25 and 26 years. And I recently had an 84-year-old lady who lives in the Foreman Road settlement who asked me, do you think I will see a house in my time? Because I've got a small shack. I've got 3 children who are now grown, and they are about the age of 35, 40, and they all can't live in this small shack. So when is the city going to give me a home? And I had to tell her, I'm not a councillor. I'm here to help you with whatever way I can, but I can't promise you a house. And I think the government and the city has promised homes for them. We don't have a housing list, or I've never seen a housing list. The last I heard that the housing list was scrapped, which shouldn't have been. And I think that the city has a job to do. They need to tackle the dirt in the area. They need to tackle the poor people living in the area and provide them with better facilities. We can't have people living in tin shacks and then spend a fortune on hosting international games in our country. I think we must invest in our people first. When you have a happy nation, then you will have less crime, and we will be able to host games, etc. in this country.
Multifactorial problems there, as you've been speaking about. Lack of housing, lack of hygiene, lack of flowing water, all those kind of things contribute to these factors. Corruption is the big thing also. What do you see as a solution, apart from what you just said just now? Does the solution lie with us as a community to start fixing things in our street? Does the solution lie with those people in informal settlements to try and start a program, maybe of recycling in their very own neighborhood, and teach everybody or tell everybody, listen, stop dumping on the curbs or on the verges? What's the solution there?
I think the solution is that those with the money, and that refers to the city now, need to actually prioritize. they need to say that we have so many poor people who are living in this area. We have so many jobless people. We need to create jobs for them. We need to empower them, give them some skills, etc. And I haven't seen skills development taking place in any of the informal settlements that I'm working. I've seen private organizations and private NPOs coming there and helping, but I haven't seen this on the city side. And it's what I'd like to see from the city. Now, I'm not going to run down our current city management, because I think we've got a new management that was put in place because of the corruption problems that we had. And I would like them to give them I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, because from what I've seen, they are appearing to be doing a good job. But the sad part is that our city has been mired with corruption. Yes. Let us not forget the Manasseh report. Let's not forget that they embarked and spent millions on what they call the Smart City project and a Quantum City project. And when they were on this project, I wrote numerous letters saying, tell us what it means. What is a smart city? And I never got a response. Even the finance department that was funding these people used to write back and say, we'll have to find somebody who knows what this is about.
That's a shame.
Yet, they are pouring money. They were pouring money into digging up pavements and laying fiber cables for a smart city project, which doesn't exist today.
We are saddled with infrastructure that is ailing.
We are.
So multifactorial again. How do we regenerate as a community?
So I think as a community, we need to come together. We need to realize that when we say this is our home, it doesn't refer to the four walls that encase your house, but it refers to the entire neighborhood in which you live in. And that it should be on a few CPF members who drive around stopping people from dumping, etc. It should be every one of us that plays the policeman in the area and does their part in keeping our area clean. And I think this is important. I also want to say this about the police. When police are stationed in an area, we often see them drive through an area. But do they drive looking at the area as if it's theirs? And do they get offended when they see things that are going wrong, when somebody is doing something wrong? Now, if you walk through Overport with me, you'll be shocked at the number of things that we see and the dirt that we see around there. And it offends me to see this here. And it's simply there because nobody has done anything about it. And it's time the city says that, hey, these are ratepayers. They deserve to get what they're paying their rates for. And let's start cleaning up the area. I haven't seen the clean up in my area at all.
Well, Satish, thank you very much for that. And there you have it. We're going back again to the factor or the theme of ratepayers associations and what it should do and what it shouldn't. Some very wise words, some great input there from Satish. Satish, thank you very much, and your time and input has been appreciated. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
And there we go. Thank you. Welcome back to Tabloid Talk, and with me in the studio is Ward 25 Councillor Hassan Haniff. He's been plagued with a lot of problems in the community, especially with dumping. And we're going to unpack some of these issues. And the councillor is going to tell us the difficulty, or rather what he's facing in terms of keeping the area clean. Councillor, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio. The causes of the degeneration in our community. Have we lost civic pride? What's going on there?
Yes, we have lost our civic pride big time. Because if you go back in time, 30 years ago, every person knew everyone in each road. Today we have lost it with the new generations coming. We've got don't care attitude. We don't even care who's our neighbors, what our neighbors do. If anybody's dumping, no, I cannot report my neighbor is dumping over there because my neighbor is going to start fighting with me. We're going to become bad friends. So these are kind of some of the challenges and all that we are facing out there. And yes, we have lost it big time. And unfortunately is that because why we say we're losing it that way is because we are losing it also on the culture way. On the culture way, our cultures are getting very weak from what I see as a councillor in the area. As people that used to do things the cultural way before are now the ones that are dumping out on the streets. Unfortunately, that is what we are finding. We are finding very, very educated professionals that are dumping out there. So these are the people supposed to be educated and intelligent as to knowing the bylaws of the city and to talk to their neighbors if somebody is doing it, but they themselves are doing it. So we are losing it.
People don't seem to know what the bylaws are or what it's about, Councillor. But, you know, the question I want to touch on next is that If you look at Overport, if you look at your ward, for example, right, there are some areas that's pathetic.
Yes.
And there are other areas which is clean. What contributes to that? So if I'm on Crescent Street in Overport, that whole corner is filthy. If I go a few blocks away into Morningside, we don't see those kind of things happening in terms of dumping and those. What are the factors contributing to that? Social responsibility, or people who are just more conscious?
Look, it's the community to blame. It is the people to blame, the atmosphere that we are living in. If you look at, like you said, Crescent Street, if you look at Crescent Street area, if you look at especially like by West Road and Crescent Corner, the dumping there is happening with the houses that are across the road, the small businesses that are next door, which we have engaged with DSW Education many times to go there and educate the residents in those areas, those businesses in those areas. But you know what? Two of the business guys actually told me a few. You know, they swore me on site over there and in front of DSW Education official. And they told me, you can't do us anything. We are dumping over there. We're paying our rates over here and you will get it picked up. So these are the kind of attitudes sometimes I get. And it's so sad. It's from business people where I want to work with them as to how we can find solutions. But it seems some of the business people are not there to help with solutions. They just want to be part of the problem. And you'll find especially the landlords in those blocks of flats in those areas. I've engaged with some of those landlords. Educate your tenants. Provide them with the green wheelie bins. Provide them with the black bin bags. Educate them that you need to put this dirt out on the morning of the day of collection. If you put it out the night before, it is known as illegal dumping. If you take the dirt from this road number 20 and put it across by number 21, that is also illegal dumping. So you need to put your dirt out after 5 in the morning, between 5 and 6, on the morning of the pickup. So you have your scheduled runs, you know your area, when is the pickup. You should be familiarized with that. Then the other thing we are facing in the area is the landlords. The landlords that are renting out single dwellings, they are putting in tenants over there just to collect. Those tenants are dumping on the streets. When we talk to the tenants say talk to the landlord. The landlord is not providing us with black bags. It is the duty of the landlord to provide adequate bags to the tenants and educate the tenants so that how we can work together and to make find solutions to the problem and make a cleaner, healthier environment to live in.
Councillor, it brings me to wonder, why is it that we're not bringing Metro in to issue fines to these people who are responsible for illegal dumping, for not adhering to the bylaws? Why can we bring Metro in to fine them?
Yes, we can, but not directly Metro Police. This falls under DSW. DSW has law enforcement. I've been putting it out to the community many a times. I've been talking personally to residents. Get proof, get evidence on your phone, do a video, get photographs of the registration of the vehicle, facial recognition on the photos on your phone. Go to DSW, do a statement over there. DSW will send the statement to court. They will call you as a witness, will nail the person, the culprit who's doing the illegal dumping, up to 5,000 Rand fine, he will get fined, and then we can put it in the media and name and shame the person. And that's also where I am having a big problem, major problem, is people don't want to come out as witnesses to assist. And the councillor cannot do everything because I have not witnessed the dumping. You have witnessed the dumping, because that is why they call you a witness. For me to go and say I witnesses, then I'm lying. I'm lying, and my religion doesn't teach me to lie. So that is where I'm asking community to work with me, and I'm working with them together, and then how we can live in a cleaner environment. But unfortunately, many residents tell me, you the councillor, you must do it.
Do people listen? You've got a tough job. Do people listen to you as a councillor when you tell them, please do not dump? It doesn't seem like they're listening to you or listening to anybody for that matter.
All right, Mohammed, that's a very, very good one. That's a very good one. Because when I go to DSW and I pick up the illegal dumping boards, when residents are concerned and I need to erect these boards. So I went to DSW and I told them, listen, you need to get hold of legal department and remove the chips from the board. Because whenever I put up a board anywhere, it's like an attraction for people to come and dump. And for example, West Road, 4 times in 2 years I put up boards, somebody is pulling out the boards. In Hill Street, they did the same thing to me. They pulled out my boards. Brickfield Road, they pulled out my boards. And they don't understand the repercussions and the bylaws. By pulling out a municipal board, you can get fined up to 5,000 to 10,000 Rand. You are interfering with municipal property.
Perhaps it's time for a bylaws workshop, I think, Councillor. I think we should try and initiate that and, you know, maybe partner with Tabloid Talk to do some community activities. Keep that in mind as we go forward.
Yeah, sure.
What recourse is there by the municipality to ensure that this stops completely? We know we've spoken about education, we spoke about issuing fines by the legal departments and everything else, but what is more tangible than that? Community workshops, community meetings. I doubt people will still listen.
Look, I'm just going to divert a little from what you asked. I've engaged with 2 churches in the area, and so due to lockdown, so everything was quiet. They were doing online and Zoom with the congregations and things like that. So now that it's opening up, I've engaged 2 pastors in the area, which I'll be engaging the 3 temples in the area and the 5 mosques in the area, where I want these platforms to be used about your environment. Because I think it's a right, because as a Muslim, it does say in our books, respect the land that you live in. It does say in the Hindu scriptures and in the Bible, it does say all that about the cleanliness and purity and being honest. Now, why I say honest is, you go and dump over there, and then you call me and say people are dumping there. But you are doing it, you are the culprit also. So it starts with you, end of the day. You got to look within yourself, you got to be honest and pure to yourself first, and then you can find the culprits. But you can't be part of the problem and then expect the solution to come from me. So as the community in that area, I'm urging the community as to call me. My number is 084-7012-732. Call me. If you don't get me on the phone, message me. Let's set up meetings. We are allowed now to engage in bigger communities. More residents can come out. There are open fields like Asheville grounds and things like that. We can engage in an open air meeting, have a discussion how we can go forward. But the meeting, having a meeting with community is not about complaining, is not about problems. It is about finding solutions. It is about a way going forward as to how we can clean our streets. For example, Lantana Place Lane, I've engaged the community there 2 years ago. Community came together, each one put 100 Rand, they did open shut gates, the dumping has stopped there. Sedum Lane, Dunrobin Crescent, we've done the same thing. The community came together from either side. We did open shut gates. We got welders in the area. We're giving our local residents the opportunity for jobs. So, and then my third project I'm going to say is in the corner of Crescent Street and Brickfield Road at the moment, which I'm working on. So next week, hopefully, Parks will cut the 1 tree down, and which I have a contractor, and I'll be fencing off that area. It's clean at the moment. And I've got another contractor who will come and put ash over there. So the owner that's living there too has prepared to work with me. And this is what I want. I want people to look positive. If you're a positive person, you will look for solutions and work with me. I have an office, come to my office, I can take up to 30 people in my office comfortable. We can sit, we can engage with the community and find solutions. But I need the community to work with me. They have the power. They have the power to go to the media. They have the power to engage municipalities with all the emails, telephone calls and everything, so that the municipality will get the message that this is a serious issue. But on board at the moment, I have Metro Police working with me. I have DSW Education working with me. I have Town Planning working with me, and various other departments. So whichever department I require to what situation or issue, I contact them. We have site meetings and we try and resolve it. But most of the time, that person will say, no, they are dumping there, but he's the culprit. That is reality.
That's true. Hassan, I just want to touch on vacant land, privately owned vacant land. And we have a tendency where we see people dumping a lot on vacant land. There is a bylaw, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the landowner should fence off his place to avoid the dumping and everything else. Let's explore that a little bit, Councillor.
Okay, look, let me just rephrase that. According to the bylaws, the owner not should, he must. A must is the most serious, direct. It means that property has to be fenced off on all corners of his boundary. It has to be fenced off. He has to upkeep that property or he will be fined. And if Parks Department go and upkeep the property, they will charge him. And each time they go in there, the rates increases. So it is the onus of the owner of the property, because most of the properties that are lying vacant in the overport areas, the owners are aware There are people living on the property illegally in the bushes, and the dumping that's going on in the property. They are fully aware of it. They're just ignoring it because they have other properties that they are living in, and they have other businesses. So they don't come in that area, but they know what's happening. And when the neighbors or somebody call them, then there seems to be a problem.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just to round up, Councillor, we need to discuss the issue of the cardboard collectors. And it's an increasing problem in the area. Companies coming, the recycling companies are coming in, and they enforcing the sort of informal trade with the cardboard collectors. There's a dire increase of grime in the area. Does this need to be more formalized? Do we need to look at recycling programs? I would say this must be stopped completely, because it's causing an ugliness to creep up into the community. What's happening there with the cardboard collectors and these recycling companies?
Look, I think these guys, these cardboard collectors, I call them cardboard boys, they have an advantage, because a few years ago, the ex-mayor has said that she's going to create points everywhere in eThekwini where the cardboard boys can go there with their cardboard, and the trucks will pick up from that one point. So you got people coming from all areas into there. But unfortunately, the cardboard boys are not happy with it. So the cardboard boy from Overport Brickfield Road does not want to push his wheelie or take the cardboard up to Sydenham, to that point of pickup of the truck. So last week we fined 3 trucks in the area, and 2 of the incidents I was there personally. Yesterday we fined the same truck last week and found out that it's expired, 2,500 Rand fine. This morning we see the truck is back in the area, so Metro now has taken the truck in.
Oh, that's good.
Metro has taken the truck in.
But Metro can arrest these guys.
Metro can arrest this. But you know what is the sad part is, 2 years ago, is that I've engaged with DSW. DSW head and deputy have said that the documentations have been given to the judge. From all the depots of eThekwini, they compiled it and put it together, and they gave it to the judge for the judge to approve and sign it. That was to become the new bylaw of cardboard collections. But unfortunately, the bylaw is not in place yet. The signatures have not been done yet. No information has come to me. So Metro Police also, their hands are tied. If there was a bylaw in place, Metro will know how to act on it and what to do. But when it's coming to also the vagrants in the area, I've had long engagement with Metro Police. They tell me, Councillor, what do you want us to do? I bring in 10 guys over here. Tomorrow they're back on the street. We're wasting our time. We're wasting our resource. On what grounds do we put them in our van? On what grounds? Is it a criminal act? Because there's no bylaw in place. If the bylaw was in place, yes, we can say we can do something. By stopping these guys is by stopping the trucks from coming. Then you will find the cardboard guys who's going to go into other areas and start doing their work on that side. Well,
let's hope that the bylaws get registered or acknowledged or ratified by the judge, and there you have it. Stop the dumping in your area. You heard what the councillor said. Councillor, thank you very much for your time.
You're
really
welcome.
Informative, and let's hope we can keep a cleaner area. Thank you.
Yes, no, I really appreciate it, and yes, I'm prepared not 24/7, please. I need a Sunday, half a day off at least, but to engage and work with the community. So those out there that are prepared to work with me, that they want a cleaner environment, we can find solutions to the problem by having meetings. And also these areas where there's open space, especially on the corners where there are dumping happening, I encourage residents to go to parks or go to DSW Education in 188 Sandile Tusi Road, Old Argyle Road. You can go to the offices there and get forms from there, adopt a spot. You can adopt that whole spot there. It's not going to cost you anything. Put a nice beautiful garden. A young gentleman by the name of Ashraf has done it by Poppy Place and Roslyn Corner. It's a beautiful spot. I've motivated him. I've spoken to him. We've interacted all the time, and now there's no dumping in that area. Fantastic. So there is ways, there is solutions we can find. And also, please, I need witnesses to bring these culprits to court.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you.
And we will be back after this break with a roundup. And also there's a nice surprise up at the end of the show to tell you who our next guest is. Stay tuned. There you have it. Let us as a community make a difference and renew our environment. Stop dumping and stop the grime. Start a recycling program in your own home to minimize the impact of pollution on the environment. Hopefully, soon in the immediate future, a fully fledged recycling program could be established in our areas. Let us collectively move towards a cleaner, greener environment. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the bell icon for regular notifications. You can also drop us an email, details rolling after the credits. As for next week's guest, check out the teaser at the end of the show. I'm going to be doing the Jerusalem Challenge. Hey, hey, hey. You're going to enjoy it. I really think you are. Thank you for watching. I am your host, Mohammed Ismail. See you in the next episode.
Now, Mohammed phoned from Tabloid, right? Tabloid TV. They got one Tabloid TV going on. Very nice, informative, everything. Now they want me over there to go and put one show. I said, see, Mohammed, please. He's a digger too, but nice fella, nice. What a lovely fella, humble man. Uncle and him get on very, very well. Nice, telling me, he wants to hear the background story of my, life. I said, imagine for me to dig up now where Uncle and I started all. I can't tell all that finish inside stories and all. But I said, never mind, I'll go because you know me. I like to tell because if I don't tell, who'll just tell this fella is the one way in the bumps he's going. He doesn't know. This is why I get so angry with this fella. They must put him inside the TV to tell his side of the story too. I'll be there with Mohammed from Tabloid TV. And so make sure you watch because I got some things to tell. And anyway, he thinks he's interviewing me. He don't know yet what interview questions I got for him. End of the day. Right, that's y'all.